Namaste, yoga room friends. Thank you so much for joining in today. It's a little bit earlier than our usual time, so whenever you arrive at class will be the perfect time. Thank you so much for coming in for the duration or just for a portion of the class. Today I brought with me my Tibetan singing bowl, so we'll begin just with a little bit of sound vibration. Wash over us just to feel renewed, just a cleansing here with a sense of refreshment in vibrations with this sound, but also knowing that we can do this also with our own voice, just with your favorite Amen or Om, whatever sound, but your vocal cords can really resonate the same beautiful healing frequency. So also with the words that we say, the energy that we emit, all in energetic vibration. So even if you don't have a Tibetan singing bowl in front of you, just know that you can create this own vibration and reverberancy of healing. So let's begin standing today. Let's go ahead and bring our feet greater than hip distance apart and open up your palms. Let your shoulders drop back with a little more openness, really opening up across the energy of your heart, physically opening up here across the shoulders and the chest. And shining forth through the palms, go ahead and spread your hands as wide as you can. Lift your toes and spread your toes, letting a little daylight come between the toes as well. So as you open up just with a little bit more subtlety, that's how we move in yoga, is with this settledness. So let's take our arms up and really reach upwards, like the rays emitting from the sun of the heart. And as you exhale, just a nice cleansing. Let's take our arms up again, reaching up, reaching open, and taking a huge breath as you ground through the feet, as you open up tall through the branches of the heart. And then as you exhale, go ahead and release. And this time we're going to bring the right ear down to the right shoulder. And as you take the arms up, that's what will help us bring our head back up so we're not putting any extra strain on the neck. Open up as tall as you can, and as you take the arms down a little bit slower and more controlled, let's take the left ear to the left shoulder. And for a little more stretch, press out the heel of the right palm. Find a little element of surrender here through the side of the neck. And as you equally press through the feet, as you reach up tall through the arms, this time we're going to dive to a forward bend. So bend your knees, and I'm going to turn sideways here, and we're going to relax completely the upper body. See if you can feel anything along the spine, releasing, settling in. But in a forward bend, not only are we releasing along the spine, but we're just allowing any concerns to release and let go. Forward bends are a wonderful pose to do actually before bedtime. You don't always want to do them first thing in the morning until your back is really kind of warmed up. If you've been walking around for a while, you can do your forward bends. We're going to roll up slowly. So I invite you to bend your knees more than you need to so that we can open the back as we root into the feet and draw all the way up to standing. Inhale. And as you come into your back bend, really think of it coming from the upper spine, the thoracic spine, drawing open. Reaching up as tall as you can, dive to a forward bend once again. And try to keep your spine as straight as you can for as long as you can. So allow your knees to bend as you need to. If you don't need to, go ahead and keep them straight.
Shake your head out so that there's no holding in the neck. We always hold a lot of tension in our neck and our shoulders. This is the time to let it go and shake it out. So we're going to bend the knees more than needed, and we're going to press, press, press into the feet as you draw up. Inhale.
And opening up greatly through the body, the mind, and the spirit, and then we're going to dive once again.
And shake your head out. So from here, let's come into a downward facing dog. Bring your hands forward, shoulder distance, fingers forward, and your feet back, hip distance, again, toes forward. So the feet are parallel, and we've got a nice V shape of the body. Now, it's more important to have the spine straight than it is to have the legs straight. So bend your knees as much as you need to so that you can really lift up through the base of the sit bones and relax your head down. Really press into the square of the palms, not just the heel of the palm, but the full square of the palms. And with a tiny little grip of the fingertips, you want to feel a hollowing out in the very center of the palms. Keeps the arms awake. And devotional pose, so very, very slowly, lower the knees and let them hover just for a moment above the floor. And that's going to help to awaken in the belly. And now go ahead and release the knees and pull the hips back. Physically, go ahead and relax your forehead all the way down. And take some nurturing breaths. Some nurturing breaths. I'm going to gong the bowl while we're down here. Breathe in that sound into the cells of your spine to wash over your thoughts. And become a little bit more clear. Breathe into hands and knees and move through a few cat-cow postures. So we're going to extend and open the spine. And then we're going to press into the hands and draw the navel in and open up in the back. With an inhalation, think of your back bend coming from the upper spine. So think of the chest reaching forward through the upper arm. And then as you exhale, think of the lower back rounding, even pulling back towards the heels a little bit to really stretch in the lumbar spine. So I want you to move here 3 or 4 times with your breath. Concentrate on your breath. Concentrate on beginning this movement at the base of your spine and letting your head be the last to move. So make each movement intentional. Draw the navel in, tuck the toes under, bend the elbows a little bit, and then slowly lift the knees into downward facing dog. Now let's go ahead and walk in place a little bit and loosen up the calves and the ankles. Spend a little time really trying to stretch deeply into the calf. And drawing the navel in, let's walk the feet forward as close as you can to the front of the mat. So the toes and the fingers are in the same direction. So this is all just alignment, being intentional with every movement and every breath. Lift halfway and exhale, fold. So this time, let's try coming up with a straight spine. So I want you to bend the knees, pull the belly in, and come up to where your back is perfectly straight. From there, press into the feet, come up, continue with a nice straight and strong spine, all the way up and back. And we'll bring hands to our heart for an intentional breath. So press the palms together. Press the feet downward in mountain pose. Inhale, breathing up. The spine, your arms, your energy, and to a forward bend, exhale. So we're going to inhale and lift halfway. And we're going to exhale, fold, and let's step the right foot back. And we're going to come up for a warrior pose. So in your warrior pose, you want your shoulders and your rib cage squared to the short end of the mat. Okay, so the front knee is not past the heel, but on top of it or even slightly behind. The back leg is straight and strong, and we're going to breathe the arms up. And I want you to think of you're lifting up through the triceps. So that's really going to bring the shoulder blades into the spine, correct just any slouchy posture or hunching in the shoulders. But we're going to really lift up tall. Take some huge breaths, lengthen the back of the neck, and find a focal point and take 2 deep breaths. Spread your fingers as wide as you can. Ground through the feet. And take a huge breath. Inhale, open up tall into a little bit more of a back bend. And exhale, let's bring the hands down to lunge. So bring your hands down and wiggle the right foot back. And we're going to exhale, dropping the jaw and the hips. The hips and the jaw are closely connected. So when you relax the jaw, it kind of helps to relax the hips in your lunge. So I want you to exhale, drop the jaw, exhale almost dramatically so you can hear it. Inhale, lift the hips a little, and exhale and lower. So go ahead and stand on the hands and step back to a plank posture. Feel free to lower the knees. And we're going to slowly lower down. Now let's warm up the spine in a dynamic cobra pose. So from underneath the shoulders, glide the hands about 12 or 14 inches forward. We've got a big triangle here from the hands, which are in front of your head. And the elbows in this pose are straight up. And I want your hands to be kind of in a little teepee pose. If that's too much, come to fists or palms. But try first, hands into this little teepee. We're going to inhale and lift. Feel a stretch, and exhale and lower. So I want you to kind of move your spine like a slinky. Inhale, waving it up. Exhale, lengthen and lower, elbows lift. Inhale, up. Exhale, lengthen and lower. So each time come up just a little bit higher. Go ahead and let the feet spread to a natural distance. The feet do not need to be touching at this time. So go ahead and let them widen so that you can get a little deeper of a back bend in the sacrum. So this is a great warm-up for the spine because you've got a lot of openness to the chest and the shoulders. It's really going to help get a deeper, more cleansing breath and correct posture. All right, so let's exhale and release. Let's bring the hands underneath the shoulders. And we're going to push strongly, pulling the belly up into hands and knees. So from here, bring the knees to touching. Pull the belly in and bring the right leg straight back. Square the hips and take the left arm forward. Find your balance as you draw, hollowing the belly away from the floor, opening up the kidneys to the skies. And then exhale and release. Left leg straight back, right arm forward. So never hold your breath unless otherwise instructed, which sometimes we do in some of our breathing practices. But right now, keep your breath dynamic, deepening the inhalation and lengthening the exhalation. Go ahead and switch. So feel an intentional pause, the strength there. Let's come to downward dog. Let's lift the hips. Good. And we're going to step the right foot forward. So you might need to start with little steps. If you've been practicing for a while, you can go ahead and step all the way up with one big step. So find your lunge here. Step the left foot forward. And let's find where our back is straight. So we're going to lift halfway as we lengthen out the crown of the head. Exhale, fold and release. Come back up to where the spine is straight. Bend the knees, draw the navel in, press into the feet, and draw up. So let's go ahead and dive to a forward bend once again. Exhale. Now go ahead and hug in just a little bit more as your hamstrings loosen and give a little more permission. Opening up in the lower back. This is wonderful for getting some circulation in the back. Lift halfway. Exhale, fold, empty the lungs. Left foot steps back. So we're coming into our warrior one pose. Right knee is directly over the heel. The left leg is straight, and we'll breathe our arms up. So as you exhale, even out, distribute the weight even on the front and back foot, on the inner and outer foot. But our toes, we can wiggle. We're not gripping with the toes. Think of lifting up, breathing through the upper arms, lifting up the elbows. Now if you have some shoulder tenderness, you can always do this pose with hands at the heart. So it's okay, be creative here, but honor your body, any tenderness, tender areas that you've got. Good, inhale. Exhale, we're gonna dive to lunge. So we're gonna wiggle the left leg back a little bit and enjoy a little hip flexor stretch, which is also very good in helping keep our back limber. So hip flexors can always be tight, and lunges can't always be the most exciting thing, but they're important to do. Let's inhale and lift a little bit, and then we're gonna exhale, lunge. Let's do this a few times. So inhale, lift, and really let an audible exhalation out. So we're gonna step back to either plank posture or table. We're gonna slowly lower. Sphinx pose this time. So this time we're gonna take the elbows shoulder distance and under the shoulders. Forearms are parallel, palms down, and fingers are spread wide. Again, the feet are pretty wide, about hip distance apart or more. So first I want you to just feel your spine in this position. And getting a little more circulation, a little more suppleness and flexibility, I want you to feel as though you're pulling the forearms back to the legs. Drop the jaw and let your head and your neck just kind of extend to where it feels comfortable. The shoulders are far away from the ears. And take a huge breath. Now we're going to roll the shoulders, and we're going to go ahead and this time allow the shoulders to squeeze into the earlobes, roll them back, and then press into the forearms. Once again, coming up with a little more extension. So roll forward, up and back, open, forward, up and back. This time, press the lower chin, the jaw forward and up. Stretching the throat. Stretching the esophagus a little bit. Opening up the front of the neck. Good. Go ahead and release. Flare the elbows. Knees together. Hands into the shoulders. Pull the belly in first. Pushing up to hands and knees. Moving up to hands and knees. Okay, so round the spine. Go ahead and open up after that back bend. And we'll come into... Let's come into a quarter moon pose. So I'm going to do my left side, so do your first side so you can see. And we're going to take that, so since I'm doing my left side, I'm going to flare my left foot off of the mat. So that might just, if you're not using a mat, just flare it out behind you. So you want kind of a long, funny looking triangle between the left hand, left knee, and left foot. And we're going to take the right arm straight up. Now we're going to take this long leg, finding your balance, and lift it parallel to the floor. The foot is flexed. I don't think you can see my foot, but there we go. The foot is flexed, and the toes are spread wide. And we're going to open up just a little bit more, always staying open to the heart. So rolling the upper rib cage back just a little bit, reaching across the arms equally. Quarter moon. Good. Let's exhale, release the hand, the knee, and I'm going to do the other side, so you might be turning away from the camera, which is fine. So if you're standing on your right hand, right knee, flare the right foot back, stand, find your balance, take the left arm up, left leg up, go ahead and check it, make sure the outer foot is parallel to the floor. Go ahead and reach out just a little bit more with a little more stability, a little more length and intention.
steady the gaze and deepen the inhalation. Lengthen the exhalation. And upon your next exhalation, release the left hand, left knee. Good. And a few cat-cow postures. Inhale, exhale, downward facing dog. Okay. So you can either do a few more cat-cow postures, or we're going to move from plank posture to downward dog. So inhale, either cat-cow postures, or inhale, lift the chest to plank. Exhale, downward dog. So follow your breath. Feel as though you're really offering the heart forward through the upper arms. Good. All right, so let's all meet in downward dog. Let's walk forward. Good. Plant the feet. Lift halfway. Exhale and fold. And inhale. So we're going to find that nice, tall, straight spine. Press into the feet, you rise. Good. Hands to heart. So let's go ahead and continue a nice flowing sequence. Inhale into a back bend. Exhale to a forward bend. And now we're going to take the right foot back and come into, let's come first into head to knee pose. So this is a beautiful stretch. And then we're going to come into a triangle pose. So bring your hand on top of your foot. And we're going to take the other hand to the hip. So I want you to think of turning the hips to look down at the floor just a little bit. So the belly button's kind of looking downwards towards the floor, but the heart is looking open towards the skies. And that's going to help keep our spine straight in the pose. So think of the front leg, whichever leg you've got, sweeping that sit bone back and up. And that'll stretch the hamstring. It'll open up through the hips. And we're really pressing into the outer back foot for balance. So you can take the free arm up. Anytime that's too much on your shoulder, keep the hand at the hip. All right, let's take a focused breath and really feel all the angles and stretches here in this pose. And to warrior two, keep your feet exactly where they are, but we're going to start to circle this top arm. First coming back, the big circle. Go ahead and bend the front leg. All right, so continue that circle until we're up to standing. Shoulders over the hips, arms to T. Warrior two is where we are now. So the back leg is still straight, but now the front knee is bent over the heel. Check in with your toes. Check in with your breath. Go ahead and turn the back hand. So now we're going to go ahead and touch the back leg. Take the front arm up. Now keep the front leg bent so that we don't feel like we're falling back, but we have the equal amount of energy reaching forward as we do back. Keeping the legs strong. Reach your front knee and your upper fingertips in opposite directions, opening up a crescent along the side. Warrior two, and then to lunge. Back hand, front hand coming down. Let's step back to plank posture or table pose, your choice. So let's go ahead and lower. Our next back bend step will be a cobra pose. So you can first begin with elbows down, hands at shoulder distance, and then if you choose, you'd like to go to that next step in back bends, lift the elbows. Now it's okay if the hands are closer, but keep the shoulders away from the ears so the neck can breathe. Again, feel the triceps pulling back to the legs. The neck, it has freedom in it, giving some more space energetically and physically to the heart space. Feet are still hip distance apart to get the most out of the back bend. So we're going to lengthen and release. Press the hands down, pull the belly in. Round into cat posture, almost even clawing the floor so you can get a little deeper stretch in the lower back. Beautiful. Let's go ahead and move through a few cat-cow postures from here. Feeling what's going on in your back. Breathing some more space. Pull the belly in. Lift the knees. And we'll go ahead and step the feet forward. Lift halfway. Exhale. Fold. We're going to press strongly into the feet. Rise up. Join the palms. Dive to forward bend. Looking within. Stretch the legs. Hug in a little bit more. If your hamstrings give permission. Good. And we're going to step the left foot back. And we're going to go and come into our forehead to knee pose. So you might need your hands a little elevated on something that's perfectly appropriate to have some blocks underneath your hands. Maybe you just have one hand on the floor, the other hand is on the leg. But we're just looking for length and space. Somewhere you're feeling this stretch. Is it the hamstrings, the hips? So our front foot looking directly forward. Our back foot is really pressing down at a little bit of an angle for balance. And as we come into triangle pose, bring your hand on top of the foot. Now if you need some more space, it's okay to come up anywhere below the knee. Just don't put pressure on the knee itself. We want to feel strong and stabilized in the knee. And also, if you happen to have a genetic hyperflexibility of the knee, you always have to keep the knee micro bent. It'll make it stronger and more difficult, but it's important to protect your joints that way. So let's go ahead and bring the hand somewhere below the knee. We're going to take the upper hand to the hip and start to open up the chest. So again, the pelvis is looking downwards. The heart is looking upwards. The arms are reaching. So find a little extra effort. Breathing into the spaces with a little more energy. Hear the sound of your breath moving into the length of the muscles and even beyond the skin. So now we're going to do a full circle with our left or our upper arm, whichever one that is for you. Come up to warrior two. So first, we're going to reach back beyond the hip, down to the floor, and now let's start to bend this front knee. All right. Now we're going to open up the arms to T. So a huge breath here. So the front knee is over the heel. The arms are to T. Good. Spread the toes, spread the fingers, soften the gaze. Relax the jaw. Strong and ready in the pose of the warrior. Dropping the back hand, let's take the front arm up. So as you do so, maybe you need to bend and deepen the lunge leg just a little bit. Reach up or maybe past the midline. Look up or down. Where is it easy and aligned for your neck? Good. Reach the front knee and the upper fingers more in opposite directions. Create a little more openness and space. Good. And breathe the front and other hand down to lunge. Step back to plank posture or table pose. Go ahead and lower as slowly as you can. Now, come to any of our previous back bends, or for the next step in back bend,
would be upward dog. Just hands and feet on the floor. Keep the legs awake. Knees lifted. Release slowly. Hands under the shoulders. Pull the belly in. Good. Cat-cow postures. Bring the hands back and round into the spine. Now get the breath moving a little bit. Loosening up the spine. Now for a little extra breathing concentration, I want you to empty the lungs. Hold out the breath for about 2 seconds. Inhale fully. Inhale, inhale, inhale. Hold for just about 2 seconds. Exhale. Exhale, exhale, exhale. Hold out for about 2 seconds. Inhale. Okay. Good. Loosen up that pose. Let's come to downward dog. Relax the heels as much as you can, even if the knees are bent. Try to relax the heels down. Stretch out the ankles. Starting with your not as comfortable foot to step forward first. Typically we start with the same foot over and over. Try to start with the other foot. Good. Parallel the feet. Press down, lift halfway. Good, and exhale, fold. Bend the knees, press into the feet. Inhale and rise. Join the palms. Exhale, forward bend. So let's step back to downward dog or table. We're coming into pigeon pose next. Wonderful pigeon pose for the hips. So go ahead and lift your right leg. You can do this in table pose or downward dog. Lift it as high as you would like so there's no pinching. Feel as though the inner right thigh is rolling up to the ceiling to keep space in the SI joint. And we're going to bring the right knee up to the right wrist. Now, the foot is going to turn in underneath the left hip. All right, so walk the back leg back and walk your hands back. Stand up on your fingertips. Now, feel as though the legs are squeezing together towards the midline. So it'll lift the hips away from the floor. So your legs are strong enough to hold you for a moment. So if you've been practicing this pose for a while and your back is pretty limber, you can take your arms up in the air, but don't let that give you any cramps in your back or anything. So that's just an optional move forward if you're looking for a little more effort in the pose. And now we're going to exhale. Go ahead and release the arms if you have them up. Go ahead and release the hips. So now the right hip can be a little bit lower to the floor. It does not have to be touching the floor. You can even put a pillow or a blanket underneath the right hip for some support. But bring your hands down, maybe your elbows, and maybe your forehead. I'm going to gong the bowl here a few times because it's so beautiful. And at home, I invite you to hum along with the tone that resonates with the bowl. And let that humming bring into your own physical space a little vibration and cleansing to each of your cells. Move your hands on either side of the front knee. The elbows bent, and as though you're pushing into it, go ahead and lift as you lift the hips as well. Okay, so to get to the other side, let's even out the knees and the hands. We'll go ahead and lift. We'll lift the left leg from table pose or downward dog. Roll the inner left thigh up towards the skies. Drop your head, relax, lengthen your neck. Check in with every angle of your body, the wrists. Make sure your fingers are forward. Good, the shoulders are square. We're gonna breathe the left knee to the left wrist. Angle a little bit. And the foot comes underneath the opposite hip. So walk the long leg back. All right, walk your hands back. And we're gonna stand strong on the hands. And then we're gonna squeeze the inner legs together a little bit so that we can hold this pose. We're gonna breathe the arms up. Good. Release the arms down. Go ahead and relax the legs. Walk your hands forward. Let them support you. Kind of breathe. Kind of shift around until you find that really nice, feel-good stretch into the left hip. The left hip can be on the floor or off the floor. Maybe you can come down to the right elbow or both elbows. Maybe your forehead can come down and relax on the back of your hands or to a block or even to the floor. So shift around until you feel that really nice space and the stretch. And then we'll hum along any tone that resonates with this. And let that reverberation cleanse you on the physical and emotional realms. Breathe in, lifting the elbows, bringing the hands underneath the shoulders, lower down, and then as you push up, release the hips, release the front leg. Let's come to a seated position. And let's see, let's bend the right leg up. Press out through the long leg, and we're going to twist into the bent leg. So if your right leg is bent, go ahead and reach, breathing the right arm up, pull the elbow down, and let the left arm hug this right leg. So keep the left leg awake, the foot is flexed, and with an inhalation, press equally through the sit bones, lift up the chest, relax the neck, chin is over the sternum right now. And lengthen and relax the back of your neck. So bring the chin back a little bit into the throat. Always working with our posture, which helps to keep our brain more alert. Helps to keep us in the present moment when we're not always rounding forward and jutting the ears in front of the shoulders.
Just take a deeper breath to be more calm. As you resonate here in this position, go ahead and naturally increase the twist with every exhalation as your body gives permission. Good. Come halfway up. Take the opposite hand to the outer foot. Start with the shin parallel to the floor, and then maybe straighten the leg. Go ahead and twist back in. So this top leg can be either bent or straight, whatever you need to do. But let us go ahead and release. Inhale, press equally through the sit bones. Take the arms up, reaching up tall. And exhale, let's bring the hands to the shins, the ankles or the feet. Keep the arms straight. So wherever your arms are touching, go ahead and keep the arms straight, the elbows straight. Bend the left knee as you come up. All right, so we're now going to hug into this other bit leg. So we're going to take that same side, inhale up, pull the elbow down, and take the right arm to hug the leg first. You can always take the elbow outside of the knee for a little bit deeper. All right, so the right foot is awake. We're going to inhale, press to the sit bones, reach up joyously, energetic pillar here, a spring of the spine, and start to just find the twist, breathe naturally, and tuning within. See when your body is ready to increase and go a little bit farther into the twist. Start with the chin over the sternum, over the chest bone, and then just wiggle your head a little bit, make sure the neck is easy, nourished. You can continue around a little bit more if you'd like. How is your breath? Okay, come halfway up. Take the hand to the outer foot. Bring the shin parallel to the floor. Keep it there if that's where your hamstring needs, or you can straighten out the front leg. So, your choice. Find your space. Hum a little bit if you like that. Twist, really keep the spine buoyant and healthy through the years. Twist, twist. It's good for your lymphatic system to really wring out. All right, let's breathe to release. Let's bring the bottoms of the feet together. All right, now it's okay if the feet are farther away. You can hold on to the ankles, or you can hold on, if you can, 2 fingers around the great toe, stretching out the feet a little bit. A little reflexology, we're kind of massaging into our physical upper body neck. So however you're holding onto your legs, go ahead and wiggle the tall spine through the upper arms and pull the elbows back to the low ribs. Take a breath, drop the jaw. Let's kind of hear the sound here. And through the sound, the reverberation really moves into the muscles and the soft tissues as well. So if you keep with the humming, you might see how it allows your body to relax a little bit deeper into each of these poses.
Helps you tune inside a little more deeply. Breathe easy to rise. Let your arms assist you. Find the length and the realignment. Let's do reverse table pose. We did a lot of planks and lunges. So let's do something to open up the fronts of the shoulders. So bring your hands shoulder distance apart. And if it's comfortable, point your fingers towards your toes, feet hip distance and parallel. And bend the elbows a little bit. And we're going to breathe to lift the hips. So let your head come back with ease and alignment. Lift the tailbone towards the kneecaps. And take some huge breaths into the biceps, into the chest and the shoulders. Press into the feet, but relax the toes. Good. And let us release. So from here, bring one hand, two hands to the knees. And walk the feet back, lengthen your spine. As you release to the mat, go ahead and bring the knees into the chest. Rock side to side. And we can always use a little more comfort to our lower backs. So draw the navel in, bring the hands over to the right leg, and start to extend the left leg. Now lift the shoulder blades away from the floor. And if you would like, go ahead and lift the left leg. So hold the right knee with the right hand and bring the left hand behind the neck. Lift the shoulder blades. Work on lifting the tailbone. Draw the navel in. Relax the neck. But lift the shoulder blades again. Press the lower back into the floor. Good. Release your head. Bring both knees into the chest. And take a breath. Both hands to the left knee. Press the right leg out. Lift the shoulder blades and take your opposite hand to your head. Good. Lift the shoulder blades. Relax your head. Lift the tailbone. Relax the head. Pull the belly in. Relax your head. Good. Draw the navel in a little bit more. And release. Good. Head back. Knees into the chest. Rock side to side. Relax your neck. Let it also rock side to side. So bring the knees in as close into the chest as you can. Roll to the right and let your arms come out to T. Now come over to your favorite spinal twist. So maybe the knees are stacked. Maybe the knees are crossed for just a little bit more. Scoot the right shoulder blade out. All right. So after our twist, let's find a new angle of the twist. We'll allow gravity to assist us a little bit deeper. And upon your exhalation, slowly let the air release out of the lungs and find that moment of stillness after the end of the exhalation and see if you can relax a little bit deeper. How are you relaxing your head and neck? Maybe you can bring your back arm up, just re-angle it so you can stretch into the shoulder a little bit more through the armpit. So keep your legs where they are. We're gonna take the back arm and circle it down by the lower back and then forward in front of the heart. All right, press out the hands, press out the knees, release the legs and come to your back. Let's come to the other side, knees into the chest. Take the other arm behind you. Again, as always, you can bring the hand to the hip for a little bit more ease on your shoulder. Our goal is just to have the chest open to the ceiling so your back arm can be however is comfortable. All right, lengthen the back of the neck a few times. And even out the legs if they're stacked or crossed as you came to on the other side. Breathe in and breathe out. Find the space. Find the ease. The element of surrender. Find the peace and the equilibrium inside when our body is doing something kind of hard. It's moving into stiff places or areas of tension, areas that haven't been stretched for a while. See what you can do. How much more can you relax? Where can you let go? Sometimes our release is through tears. Let that happen. Let that all go. So the back arm is slowly going to glide down by the lower back, over the hip and in front of the chest. Press out the hands, press out the knees. Unravel the legs and bring them up. So rock side to side. As you hug the knees in a little closer, lift the nose towards the knees. Can you massage the kidneys? Massage the muscles along the spine. And breathe to lengthen your neck and release. Let's move into our time of deep meditation of Shavasana. Now, typically, you do this lying flat on your back, but I always encourage you to take this opportunity, if you like legs up the wall pose, do legs up the wall pose for your meditation. So I'll demonstrate because I love legs up the wall pose. Or you can put your legs on a chair, but make sure your head is supported. If it's comfortable keeping it flat on the floor, go ahead. Or maybe you need a little neck roll if your neck is arched because of your spine. So maybe you need a little neck roll. Let your palms be open and relaxed. Let your abdomen relax. And let your entire back side relax. Breathing in, feel the spaces of your body, bringing your awareness up to the crown of your head. And as you exhale, relax your scalp, forehead, eyebrows, eyelids, inner corners of your eyes, outer corners of your eyes, temples, relax the crease between your nose and cheeks, along the cheekbones, the inner ear. Relax heavier into the back of your head.
Soften the texture of your mouth, the tongue. Let the lower teeth relax away from the upper teeth as you relax in the jaw, the neck and throat, tops of the shoulders, shoulder blades, center of the chest, into the heart. Relax. Upper arms, elbows, forearms, wrists, palms, thumbs, index finger, middle finger, fourth finger, little finger. A huge breath into the base of the lungs and relax in the middle back. And a deep belly breath, as deep as you can, expanding, opening the belly. And relax the abdomen. Relax even more in the lower back. To the gluteal muscles, relax. The hip flexors, the pelvic floor. The hip joints feeling stable and supple. Relaxing upper legs, knees, lower legs, ankles, tops of feet, bottoms of feet, great toe, second toe, middle toe, fourth toe, pinky toe. Feel your whole body in balance, resonating with the vibration, healing, the full vitality of life, taking it all in. Deepen your next breath and let that manifest into opening up the body just a little bit more as you open the palms and stretch out the heels and the toes. Circle your wrists and the ankles. And breathe to soften at your knees and slowly shift to your side. Feeling the changes and the pull of gravity. As you shift to a seated position, now let your head be the last to rise. So slowly find yourself seated tall, with a tall and lifted, a renewed spine and spirit. Opening up the palms and taking it all in. Connecting at this time to each other. Thank you for taking this time for yourself, for all who care about you, for all you know, for those you like and those who challenge you. Thank you for doing this for your community and for the world. So I thank you deeply for joining with me for some or all of this practice. Thank you for you made it this far. Good job. So I have great gratitude for you. Thank you. Namaste.